Well, all the calls here, what we're looking at live reports saying that Brindisi is up 53.8% to Claudia Tenney's 46.2%. And that's where all the cheering is coming from here. So no matter where you are in Syracuse, you can find a copy of the Daily Orange. But this story isn't about where the paper goes, but rather where it comes from. Which would be this place right here. Welcome to 744 Ostrom Avenue, the home of the Daily Orange. The protesters that line these streets here in London on Saturday have since moved along, and so too has the deadline for Brexit. Last week, the European Union granted Theresa May an extension on her deal after it failed twice in the House of Commons. But there are strings attached. For years, the only way to pay is if you had cash or change in your wallet. But now, there's another option. People can use their phones, and it's as easy as the push of a button. Well, unfortunately, not a lot more information. We talked to them about whether or not the Chancellor came home tonight, and they were not able to confirm nor deny that the Chancellor is in his house right behind me. Now, things are quiet at the moment. No one else is here other than myself, but it was a different scene earlier today. This is the equipment that will be used to help clear those sidewalks, but lucky for Syracuse residents, I'm not the one behind the wheel. On the surface, the sport seems a little brutal, but for many of the players here, it represents home. Good evening. Fear tonight after what was the largest workplace immigration raid in a single state in U.S. history. Some undocumented immigrants in Mississippi locked themselves in their homes, and ICE officials say 680 people were arrested yesterday at food processing plants around the state. By this morning, more than 300 had been released with orders to appear in court. Tonight, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty is in Mississippi, where some terrified children have been separated from their parents. Now, Chancellor Siveru did respond as he was here today, and he said that he would have to talk to other people about whether or not that would be approved, but that we would receive an update by midnight as to whether or not they would take the resolution under advisement and cancel those classes. Now, other than that resolution, this was an emotional meeting today for people in the SU Senate. We had students, faculty, and staff express concerns both condemning and supporting the administration and the way that they've responded over the past couple of weeks to the incidents here on campus. One student saying that, especially after what happened in Theta Tau, that they haven't done enough. It's the middle of October. People walking around outside in Syracuse don't have much to worry about except for some leaves and maybe a gentle breeze. But as Syracuse residents know all too well, winter is coming. That's why Corey Driscoll Dunham, the Chief Operating Officer for the City of Syracuse, wanted to get ahead of the snow.
Pedestrian safety is a priority for this administration. We're one of the snowiest cities in the country, and for a long period of time we struggled with how to get sidewalks cleared of snow.
This is the equipment that will be used to help clear those sidewalks, but lucky for Syracuse residents, I'm not the one behind the wheel.
Put her down.
That would be these guys.
We're prepared to plow until the sidewalks are cleared.
The city is contracting JSK Snow Services to plow 76 miles worth of city sidewalks when it snows 3 inches or more. It may be hard work, but the company is no stranger to the elements.
It's definitely a big responsibility, but it's something we've done for a long time for a lot of private industries, and we're very confident that we can provide an excellent service for the city.
To help keep sidewalks clear, they have some new equipment. They're also planning on making some new local hires, but most importantly, they bring a can-do attitude. Being a plow company in one of the snowiest cities in America obviously isn't an easy job. What gets you guys out to be able to face that kind of challenge?
We like the challenge. We like to take on challenges, and fighting Mother Nature is a large challenge.
The program is set to start on November 15th and will last until April 15th of next year. In Baldwinsville, New York, I'm Conor Wight, NCC News. The Daily Orange circulates thousands of physical copies available everywhere from the SU campus to the mayor's office in downtown Syracuse. So no matter where you are in Syracuse, you can find a copy of the Daily Orange. But this story isn't about where the paper goes, but rather where it comes from. Which would be this place right here. Welcome to 744 Ostrom Avenue, the home of the Daily Orange. This is the place where the DO staff write the paper, and it takes some time.
Probably spend about 45 hours a week.
Probably somewhere between 50 and 60 hours.
I probably spend about 50 to 60 hours.
That might be a little high, 40 to 50 hours.
The hours and the years have taken their toll on the house.
744 Ostrom Avenue has character.
And it's impossible not to see that character everywhere you look.
A thing when you walk in right away is that the walls and all the history of it. This house has been used for many years from people who, went on to become great journalists.
And making history can be exhausting.
I feel like I've felt every single range of emotion in this house.
But the house won't be here for long. In fact, it's the last thing standing on the 700 block of Ostrom Avenue. SU owns the land, and while the development project is a mystery, we know the DO house will be knocked down soon. But the paper is ready.
It's definitely bittersweet, but we're looking forward to the big move.
In about a month's time, they'll make the move down the street to the corner of Euclid and Ostrom. And though the DO staff is looking forward to making new memories,
it feels very fun and cool that we get to be the first staff to work in the new house.
They'll first have to pack up all this stuff. And of course, say goodbye. In Syracuse, New York, I'm Conor Wight, NCC News. I'm here outside of the Chancellor's house, and you can see down there in the driveway, that's a DPS squad car. Now, we did speak to DPS earlier, and at least a few of the officers told us that this isn't necessarily abnormal, and they do check on the Chancellor's residence at night from time to time. Now, what we also found out from DPS is, well, unfortunately, not a lot more information. We talked to them about whether or not the Chancellor came home tonight, and they were not able to confirm nor deny that the Chancellor is in his house right behind me. Now, things are quiet at the moment. No one else is here other than myself, but it was a different scene earlier today. That was not again SU protesters coming from Hendricks Chapel after they found out that the Chancellor would not be signing their demands tonight. Now, this isn't the first time that we've seen protests outside of the Chancellor's house in recent memory. In April of 2018, people came here to protest on the same day. The reports began to come out that there were racist and highly offensive videos coming out from the Theta Tau house just down the road. People began here and then, almost in a reverse from what we saw tonight, marched to Hendricks to have a forum about what they would discuss. And as we've seen throughout this week, Theta Tau has been a sticking point for protesters, as they've been able to note that since then, they believe that not much has done and that the administration hasn't actually hit enough concrete points to fix the problems that they saw back in 2018, back in 2015, back in 2014. And that is the reason why protests are still going on tonight. From outside the Chancellor's house, I'm Conor Wight, Citrus TV News. Guys, back to you.